Hi. Testing audio real quick. Romeo. That's embarrassing. um, let's see. Okay, so the audio is clear. Let's get it here. Um, so with the new Windows 10 update, um, it's probably not that new. However, they released a Linux subsystem for Windows 10, which will enable new Python users to utilize some of the useful tools from Linux, which is exactly what we're going to install today in order to set up for the Python course. Now then, first thing what we're going to do is just straight up install Linux on Windows 10. The way that works is a little bit weird. You're not actually utilizing the OS. Think of it more as you're using the tools, which will enable users to utilize some really fancy features. So just open up your Windows key and open up the Windows Store. Go to search bar and just download Ubuntu from the Windows Store, which is a little bit weird. This was recently added to Windows 10 in order to allow developers to utilize very useful tools such as SSH, Git, and most importantly to us, it will allow us to utilize Python in the terminal. Now, unfortunately, the current PowerShell tool, which is the go-to terminal for Windows 10 at the moment, is not very useful or intuitive compared to the Linux tools. So while this is installing, we're also going to go ahead and install terminal. This is a brand new tool released by Microsoft themselves. And it basically is going to be it's an upgrade from the current terminal that we have, and it'll also allow us to utilize the Ubuntu shell, or allow us to use the Linux shell in Windows. So we actually already have this, and we're just going to go ahead and install this real quick. Once we launch this, we can see the just basic PowerShell. But if we go over here, go down to drop-down menu, we'll see the Ubuntu option. I believe is currently disabled. Oh, actually, it does work right now. And from here, we're basically able to utilize any of the Linux tools on Windows 10. First thing we're going to try out is actually see if Python 3 is installed, which it is. There we go, Python 3 working in Linux in Windows 10. The main reason we're going to have to utilize this is to actually run, one, to manage our files during the course, but also to actually run the Python scripts easily, directly in this terminal. The other thing we're going to have to utilize here, shrink this down real quick, put this away. The other thing we're going to have to utilize is a software called Atom. So we're going to be utilizing the shell, or we're going to be utilizing the terminal to one manage our files, but also run the individual scripts. But where we're going to actually be writing them is a very useful tool called Atom. Atom is just a basic editor. However, it's probably one of the most it's the nicest looking one, and probably just the most straightforward one. It's very reliable overall. I actually utilize this on Linux, not just on Windows, but it's basically the same across both. So we're actually going to open up Atom real quick, get that installed. Boop, boop, boop. In the meantime, we're going to blah. Okay, Atom's installing. We'll leave that just over here hanging out. But primarily what we're going to utilize right now is this terminal. What the Linux tools offers to us is easy file management and running the scripts themselves. First thing we're going to do is use the ls command, which lists out the files in the current directory. The other way to do it is simply, what we're actually going to do is make a directory. And this is going to be the project area that we're going to be utilizing for our projects. So we're going to make a directory, and if you hit tab, it will autocomplete based off what's currently present. Also, it seems that Atom is currently running. No. So what we're actually going to do here is open up the side panel. Where are you? Oh, it's normally over here. Panes. Where did you go? Let's see. That's strange again. Okay. We'll leave this for now. But right now we're just gonna currently make a directory. Since we are in Windows, we're going to be utilizing the main documents directory, and this is where we start making new ones. I currently don't have so we're going to change directory into documents, and over here I actually don't have anything labeled programming. I would like to have a place to store our files, so I'm going to make that right now with make directory /programming /, actually we'll do practice, and in our practice files we're going to put Python. Oh, made that mistake real quick. We're going to do the flag P, which will just make all the directories that currently don't exist. And if we change directories now, we'll be able to see that we're currently in the Python folder. Now from here, let's close Atom real quick. We'll see that it's currently empty, and with the touch function, that will allow us to create new files. So we'll just type in new file, and if we use the list command in the current directory, we'll see that we've actually created a new file, but we don't actually want that there, so we're just going to delete it with remove. Also, always hit tab to autocomplete to see, it'll autocomplete based off what's currently in the directory. Now, so the file is officially gone, and let's just clear this up. So with the touch file, depending on which textbook we're going to end up using, which is a toss-up between Automate the Boring Stuff, the official Python tutorials, or Learn Python the Hard Way. Personally, I am leaning towards learning Python the hard way, as it is a great intro course for people who are new to programming. It'll get you actually coding the quickest. There are some actual issues with it, though. There are a couple of Sometimes it could be a bit of a drag. Other times it's has a couple inaccuracies in it as well. However, in the approach of this course, we're going to be trying to utilize direct exercises, where you're not simply listening to or reading the material, but you're actively utilizing it while also learning it. So, which is why we're going to use the touch tool in the Linux terminal. Now, we're not in a different OS. This is actually in just using our normal Windows files. This is just a much easier way to create new files and manage them. With a touch file, as we saw, is able to create new files. However, if we want to create multiple ones of the same kind, this is where it becomes very useful compared to PowerShell. Now, let's just create touch. And we're going to do a open curly brace. And we're going to be doing, since there's a total of 54 exercises in learning Python the hard way, we're going to be doing 54 separate pre-prepared Python files. Now this is, we're going to be doing exercises 1 through 54, but I'm just going to shorten it to EX. So open curly brace 0154 dot py. Now what this is going to do is open up, is going to create exercises 1 through 54 pi. And just like that, we've created 54 new files. They'll be easily accessible, so we don't have to type we don't have to type it every single time we want to create a new file for an exercise. It's just much better to have it pre-prepared, so you can simply switch without having to type things over and over. Now, let's test it out and actually see if we created those new files. And just like that, we can see we have 54 pre-prepared empty Python files for us to utilize in Atom. Now, let's open up Atom. Oh, is it still being installed? Where are you? What is going on with you, Atom? Anyways, this doesn't quite matter. We're just gonna push it over here. And we're gonna open up my second favorite tool, which is Sublime Text. Boop. And we actually have one of the pre-prepared things. Hello there. You are not working correctly today. You also don't have a sidebar. Where is your side panel? It is gone. I don't understand why. Alright, well, wait. There it is. So let's actually just open up our initial file. Open file, documents, programming, practice, Python, and EX1. Atom's not working right. Okay, so we'll just use, we're just going to use Sublime Text for now. We can also see it here. Let's see. Let's just open up the sidebar. Oh, that was open. Ah, okay. So, yes. And now we can see all the pre-prepared files for each exercise. Now, the first exercise in learning Python the hard way, I should be providing the PDF in the description of this video, but for simply setting up for the Python course, we're just going to be, we can simply test it out. And the first one is a very simple print exercise. So all we have to do is type print. This is known as a this is known as a method, which is a pre-prepared function within a programming language. And then we're going to type in the argument, hello world, which is very familiar to most users. And just like that, we've typed our first Python project. Now, here's where we actually test it. Since we are already over here, we can simply type in Python 3, which is to invoke the actual interpreter in the terminal. And since we are already in the appropriate directory with all of our files, we simply type in ex.1.py, and we can see our function here below. And then on top of that, we can start start testing out other things, such as like we'll just simple mathematics. So the print method actually prints it to the terminal. While you can have it do math here, you won't be able to actually see it because it's not actually exporting. It's not actually printing it to the shell itself. However, if we simply change that with print, method sends it out to the terminal, and we're not going to do quotation marks because this is not a string, which we'll deal with later. And we could do some simple mathematics, 2 plus 2, save that, hit up to redo the command, and we can see our result is 4. Now, so in conclusion, we're setting up a terminal which is based off of, which is part of the new Windows 10 update, which adds the Linux subsystem to Windows 10. And we're also utilizing the brand new terminal, which will allow us to utilize Linux functions within Windows 10. So we get the benefit of not having to install Linux, and you can if you want. It's what I primarily use nowadays. But with just that, we have the terminal, we have the Linux subsystem, and we have a editor. And with those really just 2 tools, we were able to type up, do our exercises from the Learn Python the Hard Way exercises, and be able to immediately test them and see them and edit them all from the comfort of Windows without having to install anything else. However, if you do have issues installing Ubuntu as part of the terminal, you can simply type up Windows features, and this should be checked in order for it to work properly. And if you run into any issues or any errors, just type in that and it should work just fine. And aside from that, you should be good to go.